Hey guys, welcome back to Maelstrom Game Studios. I'm Craig, and today we've got a quick preview of some big changes coming to Warhammer 40k. Around the July-August time, 40k is going to have a big shakeup. So we're going to discuss kind of the previews. GW has kind of teased that, along with some other stuff we know is coming, and see what does this bring for Warhammer 40k and the Tyranids. So if that sounds good, just remember to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all of our content here at Maelstrom Gaming Studios. It really helps out the channel. Members, thank you so much for supporting us. Allow us to keep doing what we're doing. And with that, let's dive into today's video. So before we dive in, I'm going to plug this. You're watching this on Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 1 p.m. our time, U.S. Central Time, we are live streaming. We're going to do a live stream battle report. This time it is going to be my Tyranids versus Matt's Death Guard. It will be an uphill battle for the Tyranids, as many of the matchups are these days. But I've got a very, very fun list to show off with you guys. I've been painting some models to get them ready for it. At least come check out the beginning of the game, see a wacky Tyranid list that should be fun and have a chance at competing with Matt's devastating Death Guard. So, plug there. Let's get back to the preview here. And that is the Leviathan mission deck that we know and been playing with, our cards and everything. That is going away soon. Don't throw your cards away because it's still a fine way to play 40k. But in the competitive scene, the chapter-approved competitive scene, they'll be rolling out a new deck, the Pariah Nexus. This has got updated deployment cards. It sounds like most of the deployments are going to stay the same. Maybe they rework how the cards look a little bit, maybe easier to convey the deployment zones, something like that. They've got a fresh set of mission rules, so that'll be interesting to see what those come into play. Right now, the mission rules, don't really play with them. You play with the primary mission, but the mission rules aren't used very often. And then we've got some updated primary and secondary cards. At least for the primary, they have mentioned that 6 of the primaries objectives are returning, maybe tweaked or updated, better wording on the cards. And there are 3 new ones. So we'll see what those 3 new ones brings, but that might spice up how tournaments are played, maybe. They are also bringing a new mechanic. Gambits are out of here. The secret missions are coming back, or coming into the game. We'll talk on those a little bit. And just to top it off with all of these changes, remember in that same time, probably will come out roughly the same weekend, maybe a weekend or 2 difference. We have a balanced data slate. So not only are we going to have the Minotaur and Field Manual, the points are going to be updated once again, but balanced data slate, the big changes are coming. So if they're going to tweak any faction rules, any specific unit data sheet rules, that'll happen here. So right now, I'm liking 40k. There are some balance issues. There's always going to be balance issues. I'm a Tyranid player, so, you know, whatever. But it's going to look a lot different in a few months here. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's talk about the big thing, secret missions. So this is the replacement for Gambits. Gambits are, you know, they are a fun little rule, but no one ever used them. They weren't really worth it. This is going to be a replacement for that. So the way this works is it's a alternative to primary missions after battle rounds 1, 2, and 3. So on turn 4, you choose which of the 4 cards. It's not random or anything. You just pick, I want to do, you know, one of these ones. You do not show this to your opponent. It stays hidden. Don't tell them, just declare you're doing a secret mission. And then I guess you decide at the end of battle round 3, technically. But the way it works is it's a new mission for you to gain, and you do that to get 20 victory points towards the primary. Now, the trick with this is that you don't score your normal primary. So, right, if the objective is hold 1, hold 2, hold 3, you don't care about that. You do this own mission. So your opponent will kind of try and deduct, okay, what are the 4 primary missions that he is doing, could be doing, and what does it look like he's actively trying to do? How could I stop him from maybe doing that? If you are going for the secret mission, you achieve it, 20 victory points. That is on top of what you score in turns 1, 2, and 3. Most missions don't have many points scored for turn 1, but there there's at least one, if not two. Turn 2 and 3, you can score, and then you can score your 20 for turn 4 and 5. They do specifically say if you play secret missions, it caps you at 40 victory points for primary, which means you could score 35 in the first, or sorry, 25 in the first 3 turns, but then you get the secret mission, so 45 cuts you down to 20 or 40. I like it. We'll look at the secret missions here, but maybe they're better than Gambits. So the missions we have here are Shatter Cohesion, Unbroken Wall, Command Insertion, and War of Attrition. So these are it. These are the 4 secret missions. So looking at Shatter Cohesion, you score it at the end of the battlefield, if there are no units from your opponent's army on the battlefield. So that is just straight up tabling your opponent somehow. 20 points. Great. Or there's a second option. Every unit from your opponent's army is on the battlefield, meets one of the following requirements. So battle shocked, below half strength, unit is more than 3 inches away from all objective markers. Okay. If all of your units do that, 20 points. That could be good. That worries me as a Tyranid player, because often Tyranid players, at least the way I play Tyranids, is we score as many points in the first set of games, and Tyranids really run out of gas turn 4 and 5. So seeing this is a bit worrying, but if you do realize, hey, my opponent is not playing for objectives, he is just trying to obliterate all of my units, take something and hide it and protect it, and that would potentially deny your opponent 20 points. Interesting one there. I kind of like that. The Unbroken Wall is at the end of the battle. You control 3 or more objective markers that are not within your deployment zone. So your opponent's deployment zone one counts, and the other ones. That could be good. I mean, it could work out that your opponent just blasted you to pieces, but you've got a lot of units. Maybe it's someone like Unending Swarm. For us Tyranids, we just got a bunch of units that can last minute go on to the objectives there. Maybe you got a unit of gargoyles you've just hidden and you're waiting for turn 5. Maybe you're going second and you can just drop onto 3 objectives or something. You know, for 20 points, that's not a horrible thing. It's very doable, I'd say. Command Insertion is your warlord is within range of 1 or more objective markers your opponent's deployment zone, and you have to control it. 20 points. That one seems difficult depending on your warlord, but again, it's another reason to choose why you would choose a specific warlord. Okay, that one seems like the hardest one so far. And finally, War of Attrition. 1 or more battle line units from your army are within your opponent's deployment zone, and one of the following conditions apply. There are no battle line units from your opponent's army on the battlefield. Every battle line unit from your opponent's army that is on the battlefield is within your opponent's deployment zone. Okay, so they did mention this, and I'll talk on this a little bit, but battle line units are getting a buff this edition, so maybe you will see more battle line. Right now, it seems like some armies still kind of ignore it. Maybe they take 2, but otherwise they kind of stay away from it. I know Tyranids, if I'm not playing Unending Swarm, it's typically just 2 units of gargoyles, so interesting to see how that plays out. Okay, I like the secret missions. I think, again, command insertion, I don't see that happening much, but the other ones are doable, I would say. Finally, the mission changes. So the battle line gaining buffs is what they mentioned, and there are 2 mission rules. So these are the old mission rules where you had like minefields and Maelstrom, where 2 mission rules were active. Those are replaced with these ones, and they say all of the mission rules benefit battle line units in some way. There are potentials in here for extra secondary points. So like Raise the Banners is one they showed off. An old callback to 9th edition, where you can have a battle line unit raise a banner, and that banner generates you secondary points throughout the game. Again, that could be pretty good for like an Unending Swarm list. And it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the secondaries are like and how everything plays out, like the fixed, but battle line units getting you extra victory points by putting up banners isn't not a bad thing at all, because you can do that on your home objective, and that's just 5 secondary points you get. But you will have to take into account your opponent will also probably get those points as well. And another one, rapid escalation. This is an interesting one where you get to put battling units in strategic reserve. They can pop up within any 6 inches of any battlefield edge, but not within your opponent's deployment zone. I mean, it's cool. It's something. I don't know. Maybe it'll come up. It'll be interesting to see what the other ones. I think they said there were 9 of these, and these are just 2. Maybe you'll see these played more often in tournament play, because right now you pretty much ignore the mission rules. So it'd be interesting to spice up the game a little bit with these ones. And then again, like I mentioned, some other potential changes. In the past editions, when Chapter Approved has come out in tandem with the balanced data slate and stuff, that has led to significant changes in certain scoring potentials. The big thing I can think of when this comes to mind is OC0 units. I think if there is ever a time they're going to say units with 0 OC cannot do secondaries or actions, whatever the word they're going to use, I think this is going to be it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if the Spore Mines and Rippers become useless when this deck comes out. Who knows? I would honestly put it like a 50-50. It's a coin flip right now to me. If they do it, totally understand. If they don't do it, great. We can keep using Biovores. Although I'd wish they would, I don't know, make the rest of the coax better so we didn't have to rely on a Biovore. But it is what it is. So that's a quick overview of Pariah Nexus coming. Now, this won't be coming till probably the beginning of August. I would guess the last weekend in July or the first weekend in August. But it will be cool to see. It will definitely spice up the way tournaments are played and just breathe new life in the game, which I am all here for. So that's what I got. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you looking for these changes? Do you like the Leviathan deck and hope it doesn't stray too far from it? Let me know, and we'll see you next time here. Come into the live stream. Come to the live stream tomorrow, and we'll chat about it. But we'll see you next time here at Mastering Game Studios.